because we get to talk to the living legend herself, Coach Kim Mulkey, fresh off another couple of great, tough-fought SEC wins. LSU remaining undefeated. Coach Mulkey, what's going on? How we feeling this morning?
Well, you feel good with the win. Roll my ankle going on the court. Now, wasn't that a hell of a sight? So I'm sitting up here like you two football players with ice packs everywhere. What is a living legend, T-Bob?
A living legend, so sometimes you have geniuses who are only appreciated after the fact, be it like a Van Gogh, right? Van Gogh died poor and destitute, cutting off his ear, sending it to his girlfriend like a complete psychopath. But now he is celebrated. A living legend is someone whose accolades we can see and appreciate at the time, and that is you, Coach, because your resume speaks for itself.
Mm-hmm.
I wish you'd tell my family that. They need to treat me better. I tell them all the time, y'all need to appreciate me while I'm still on this earth. No, I'm teasing. I'm just in a cut-up mood today.
Hell yeah. Well, you should be.
We're supposed to talk about basketball. Let's talk about that Vandy game. I'm still scratching my head. We had 21 offensive boards, and we had to struggle to win a ball game. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to look at the film and figure out, did we not do anything with those offensive boards? We did have terrible turnovers in the first half. We had 12. And we put them at the foul line with about 6.5 minutes to go in the second quarter, and a lot of that was charges. They took charges left and right. So it was a very, very weird, if I can use that word in basketball, it was a weird kind of game.
Well, I mean,
had a great crowd. Had a great crowd, and, of course, when it's tight like that, I think the fans actually like it. They stay at least through the game, and they don't get up and leave in a blowout.
Yeah, well, I mean, hey, you want to talk about a funny ripple effect of the success you have? It is exactly that, right? Like, I know as a coach, you want to beat a team by 30, but as a fan, when you're in the stands, something like Tennessee on Thursday that ends with a incredible KG left-handed finish, or last night a 5-point win at home, like, yeah, it keeps you on the edge of your seat. So you haven't had a chance to watch the film yet then, because that's what I wanted to kind of pick your brain about. I know you mentioned the foul trouble in the second quarter and how that lent itself to the oddness of the game as well. So you have not still figured out how you could have 21 offensive rebounds, only 3 of which were long offensive rebounds, and still the game be this close.
Well, we had 4 sitting over there by me in the second quarter when they were shooting free throws in 6.5 minutes. So when you have Michaela Williams off the floor and point guard off the floor and playing a lot of players, you get out of sync and out of rhythm. So there's so many things that attributed to that. And I don't ever want to take away the fact that, give Vanderbilt credit.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys, they're coming in here after 2 losses and they need a win. And they shot the ball extremely well. Pierre and Moore, those guys can score with the best in the SEC. And if I went back and looked at it, I'm curious to know if I had to play them again, would I guard them differently? I'm a big man-to-man pressure the ball. And what we did was we got off the point guard a little bit, because she was like the leading scorer freshman in the country, and we did good on her by the way we guarded her, but I just like to be up on you. I like to pressure you and not give you an opportunity to look at everybody, make that first pass. I don't know. I'm searching in my head before looking at the film. Why was that game like that? And it was a very, very weird game.
Coach, I want to go back. Last time we had you on, you were about to play Tennessee, and you talked about their unique style and what it was going to take for y'all to, go against a style like that, be victorious, and you were. But I want to ask you from, your perspective and being a coach, when you game plan for something unique like that against Tennessee, how difficult is it to cut it loose? Because you work on this one team because they do this, one thing that nobody else really does, and then all of a sudden you got to cut it loose, and then you go play a Vanderbilt team. What's that process like?
Well, it's very different. And you're exactly right. In the Tennessee game, I went with a small lineup because of the press. I didn't want to leave there defeated because we couldn't handle the pressure and we had all these turnovers. So we handled it beautifully. We scored 60 points in the paint against Tennessee, and that's
True.
not if you just said we scored 60 in the paint, you're thinking, wow, you got some dominant post players. No, we scored it on layup.
Mm-hmm.
Would beat their press in the back court and just get layup after layup after layup. And yet I've got to come back here and play a Vandy team that their press is not like Tennessee, and they only do it a couple times. But what they do is they're just solid. They're coached really, really good because Shea Ralph was with Gino Auriemma for years, and they just mix some things up. You have to prepare like that. The next game we play is not until Sunday, and it's against a different type of team than those two. So anyway, it's a mystery to me how that game was so close, and so many different things that we did, good and bad, and I can't. It was just a weird game to try to explain.
So, Coach, one thing about this team is when y'all have been in close games, y'all are consistently finding ways to win them. And as you just kind of referenced with this last answer, you're winning a lot of games in different ways. When you look at the hallmarks of teams that have postseason success, how important is it to be able to first, I think, operate in crucial high pressure situations, and then secondly, to be able to adapt to the situation at hand? Because it feels like this team has both of those traits.
Well, as you said earlier, coaches don't like them to be close, but when you get two teams that are equal in talent and are capable of winning the game, you're going to be in close games. And I guess this is a great experience for our team for later in the year. I was asked, I think, in the press conference last night, how are we winning these? And of course, I'm so.
I saw you get after Reed.
I'm so witty, and I'm I don't let the media control my press conferences. I can sing a song, I can crack a joke, and then I can be as tough as I need to be. But I just being funny with Reed. I said, Reed, why would you insult me like that, man? Don't you know it's great coaching?
She said, no, even better, Coach. You direct quote. You said, "It's my coaching, son."
Yeah, I said, man, don't insult me like that. So we had fun with it. But the truth of the matter is, and I've always said this, a coach does little things through the course of a game, guys, to maybe a quick hitter to score a basket or something. But at the end of the day, you'll always hear Mulkey say, I am only as good as my players. Every win I've ever had is because I was blessed to coach great players, and they allow me to coach them. They allowed me to go after them. They allow me to love on them. They allow me to be hard on them. And what I have is I have a group right now. They're very talented. Some are more talented than others. Some right now are more confident than others. Some are more experienced than others. But I've got 3 or 4 that will say, give me that ball, Coach. I'll go win this game for you. And that's how you win the close games. And sometimes you make the shot. Sometimes you don't make the shot. But they're not afraid to fail, and that comes from the personality of the coaches. I'm not afraid to fail. Hell, if I was afraid to fail, I wouldn't have taken this job. I wouldn't have taken the Baylor job. I mean, I inherited 7 and 9 win seasons at each place. So you just go play. You're confident in what you do. You're prepared in what you do, and sometimes the other team is just better on that given night.
Coach, do you do anything different? And look, you've done this so long, and we laid out your resume so many times, and so you've been through every situation. And so, like, when you've got a stretch right now where you've got to go to Tennessee, a ranked basketball team, then you come home, you play a good Vanderbilt team, but then you're right back on the road the next 2 games, and 2 tough games in a 4-game stretch, on the road against Florida, on the road against South Carolina. How do you handle that as far as your schedule, knowing you're not going to get as much rest there? You got to go on the road 3 out of 4 games. Like, what does the schedule look like in that situation, maybe to compare to a normal schedule?
Well, right now, after last night, we're going to take today and tomorrow off. And that'll give them, a chance to get some treatment and do some things. Now, they'll be in the gym on their own. very rarely do the kids just stay out of the gym, but I'm not going to have a team practice.
Yeah.
And then we'll get in there on Thursday and prepare for Florida Thursday, Friday, leave Saturday for Florida, get on their floor, play them on Sunday, then come back, and then we'll forget about Florida, and we'll start concentrating on South Carolina. And guys, hell, they're on like a 67 win streak in at South Carolina, and they're that good. I remember Flage's freshman year when we took the team there, and from the tip, it was just, oh my goodness. But what a great learning experience for them, because they won the national championship that year. Mm-hmm. That group did. So we'll tie our shoes up and we'll go and we'll learn. And we're not supposed to win at South Carolina. And here's what I've told this team. This is how you get to host at home. You got to take care of your games at home.
Yep.
You got to go on the road, and there's 3 or 4 on the road that we're not supposed to win this year. And you got to upset somebody. And I'll put Tennessee in that group as well. We were not supposed to win that, even though we were ranked higher. They're just, they're all hyped right now, and they've got all this stuff going. We weren't predicted to win that game.
Do you know what you accomplished in winning in Knoxville for a 3rd time in a row?
Well, I didn't know that till after the game. They mentioned something about we're only one of 2 teams that have done that.
Yep.
And so you got to do that. Take care of your home business, beat the teams you're supposed to beat, and sneak one of those in that you're not supposed to beat, and you'll be sitting pretty at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Coach, and then I got to ask you about Anissa Morrow. She's just on fire right now. 9 double-doubles in a row. She plays with a hunger. I love the story about y'all sitting down and her talking about how I have all the individual accolades. I want to win. And she seems to be gaining steam here. How much has Anissa meant, and what does she mean to this team going forward?
Well, ask yourselves, y'all former athletes, how many young people today have that mentality that
True.
I don't really care about NIL. I've had all the money I need at this school. I got all this. I just want to win.
Yeah.
And I want to go in the playoffs. That mentality is rare now. And when she said that to me on the phone, I thought, we got to get this young lady. My goodness, she wants to do what we're trying to do here. I thought one of the telling things she said in the press conference last night, she was asked about how hard she plays. And I've said it many times, she plays as hard in practice as she does in the games. Mm-hmm. And she told them why. She said, this game was taken away from me, and I don't ever want to have that feeling again. And I think it shocked the reporters because none of them picked up on that until last night. And they asked her, what do you mean? And she said, I had 3 knee surgeries in high school.
I had no idea. She had the 3 knee surgeries until she said
and
that.
I have known about Niece's knees, obviously, and we take good care of her in that area. But I don't talk about it much because I don't want anybody in the WNBA to ever hold anything against that young lady, whether she's got a good knee, bad knee, or anything. You judge her on what she does on that floor. And when she said that last night, she just told them, I know what it feels like to have the game taken away from you, and I don't ever want that feeling again.
It was beautiful. I mean, her motivation laid out clear for everyone to see. Coach, which family member gives you the most crap? Which family member needs to respect the living legend more?
That was a joke. I am blessed to have.
Is it Kramer? It's Kramer, isn't it?
Well, let me tell you. You guys have children, so here we are. We're going to talk a little raising of our children. You guys have children. I have 2 grown children, 2 grandchildren, and it is amazing that they can come from the same gene pool, same mom, same daddy, and be so different. Yeah. I have a daughter that's my oldest, and she went to Baylor and all that. This is my daughter, guys, and I'll just say it. I have many flaws, and one of them is I grew up in South Louisiana, and I say ugly words, okay? and I'm not proud of it, and I ask God to forgive me. And, I try never to embarrass anybody, but, it's just one of those. I quit doing resolutions about it because I always end up losing. But she never, ever says a bad word.
Oh, wow.
And I look at her sometimes and I go, do you really belong to me? And she's into her faith. She's one of these young ladies that, gosh, you just want your son to marry. And I say that honestly because she's got it going on. Graduated with honors, 2 degrees. Played for me at Baylor, was on the 40-0 team, played softball at Baylor that went to the World Series. Wow. And then along comes old Kramer boy 3 years later. And you want to talk about daylight and dark. But see, now he's got my quick wit. He'll say a choice word every now and then. And I always say somewhere in the womb it was mixed up because, see, she doesn't care about clothes and how she looked when she played. Kramer. He wore Jordan. He wore Kobe's. He wore LeBron's, and I never knew he was ordering off of my Nike account and sending them and shipping them to get cleats made into it. And so he's my girl, and Mackenzie's my boy, and life goes on. And so I probably give Kramer the most hell of any of them because it's Kramer, and he's got such a good heart. Yeah, he does. If you just know him, he's got a good heart. And look, he's working in the athletic department now and trying to find his way, and it's just fun to watch him grow up.
Hell yeah, Coach. Well, it's fun talking to you every single week. It's the best part of our week. Every single Tuesday, Coach Mulkey makes time for us. Congratulations on a couple another great wins, and enjoy the bye, and can't wait to continue to watch this team. Thank you, Coach.
Hey, guys, you're welcome. Take care now.